Welcome back, students. This video is for class 7, chapter number 2, nutrition in animals. It's a biology topic. Okay, so page number 10. I repeat, chapter number 2, nutrition in animals, page number 10 for class 7th. Okay, this is the second part of the video. In earlier first part, you might have seen what is heterotrophic nutrition, right? Heterotrophic nutrition means what? The nutrition in which the animals cannot make their own food, right? They are dependent on other living beings for living things for their food, like cows, buffaloes, even humans. They all depends on plants for their food, right? So one living being is dependent on the another living being for their food. So that type of nutrition or that type of living things are called as heterotrophs. Okay, they are called as heterotrophs, and that type of nutrition is called as heterotrophic nutrition, right? Next, in next cases, the animals are classified into three types. The animals are classified into three types, that is herbivorous, carnivorous and omnivorous. Which three types? Herbivorous, carnivorous and omnivorous. Okay, I will write it here. So animals are classified into which three types? Three types. Okay, three types. This is chapter number 2, nutrition in animals. So they are dependent on they are classified into three types, that is herbivorous. Okay, herbivorous or herbivores, any means you can pronounce it in any way. Next is carnivorous, and last is omnivorous. Okay, now what is herbivorous? In this you can see the word herb, right? Herb means plants, right? So the herbivorous means which eat herbivorous eat plants. Okay, means the animals which only eats plants. So example is cow, buffalo, right? Sheep, goat. So these are all examples of herbivorous because these animals eat only plants. Next is carnivorous. Carnivorous are those which eat herbivorous. Carnivorous are those which eat herbivores. So in this humans are there, right? Humans are carnivorous, or you can say lion, tiger. So these are examples of carnivore. These are examples of carnivores. Carnivores are those which depends upon herbivorous. Now omnivorous are those which eat both. Herbivorous are those which eat plants, carnivorous are those which eat herbivorous, and omnivorous are those which eats both herbivorous and carnivorous. So omnivorous are those which eat carnivorous and herbivorous. So it includes humans. Let us not include humans here. Okay, we will include humans here because humans eat both. They eat this also, they eat this also. Okay, so humans. And lastly it is scavengers, which eat dead animals and plants. So it includes vultures. Have you seen vultures, eagles? This comes under scavengers, which eats dead animals and plants. So kind of nutrition where food is taken. Okay, now this is all about types of animals. Now next is about nutrition. Okay, about nutrition. So the nutrition in which the food is taken into the body and then further broke down. Okay, means whenever you eat solid or liquid thing and it is converted into energy, right? Nutrition means what is the use of nutrition? It means it which helps in growth or gaining energy, right, from the food, that is nutrition. So nutrition includes intake of solid or liquid food and breaking down it into a digestible substance, or breaking down into energy, that is So that type of nutrition is called as Holozoic nutrition. Next is nutrition is divided into 5 types. Okay, means it has five steps, right? For nutrition there is a 5 steps. Which are those 5 steps? Ingestion, digestion, absorption, assimilation and egestion. Ingestion means taking the food inside the body, means inserting the food from the mouth. Digestion means after mouth the food goes to the stomach, so where the food is digested. Next is absorption. In absorption the important juices are mixed into the blood, so that is absorption. And from the blood energy is gained, right? It is generated into energy, that is assimilation. And when the foods everything is taken out, like important juices, energy and everything, the remaining waste is thrown out of the body, and that is egestion. Okay, I'm not going deeply in this because you have studied or already studied this in earlier video, so I'm just explaining as a recap. Next is nutrition in amoeba. Now amoeba is a unicellular animal. Unicellular means uni means single, right? Single means one. Okay, one means animal which is having only one cell, it is unicellular. So amoeba is a unicellular animal and which depends upon bacteria, means the food of amoeba is bacteria, microscopic algae. Algae means the things which grows in rainy season, the green things on which usually we get slip off, right? So that is called as algae. So microscopic algae and other unicellular organism, and other small organisms are the food of amoeba. Next is now how does the amoeba moves from one place to another, and how does it eat food? Okay, so we will look at that. But for means moving from one place to another, if this is the amoeba, what it does, it just extend, means if it want to go in this direction. Okay, if it want to move in this direction, what it will do, it will just make means it don't have shape. Okay, it is irregular in shape. So what it will do, it will just point out its means body in one direction, and then it will just move, means like if this is the amoeba. Okay, if it don't have any shape, now it want to go in this direction, what it will do, it will just open up its body. Okay, it will just open up its body. Now it has opened up its body. Now to move in this direction, it has opened up this direction of body, and then it will just take all the body there. So this is in this way. Now again if it want to go in this way, it will just open up this part of the body and just go it. If it want to go here, it will just open up its body and just go here. So amoeba moves in this form. Okay, now how does the amoeba eat food? What it will do, here it is the diagram. This is an amoeba. Now if this is the food, okay, it might be some bacteria or some microorganism. So what it will do, it will just make a space for it, right? If this is the amoeba and it has food over here, what it will do, it will just make a space like this. Okay, it will just make a space over here. Then it will, after that it will just cover the food, right? It will just cover the food, means this step, right? It will just cover the food and then it will catch it. After catching it, it will take all the nutrition from the food, and after taking all the nutrition, it will just throw out the waste, right? So this is how the nutrition of amoeba takes place. And okay, so this is the process of amoeba. Now we have studied for amoeba. Let's go for humans. Okay, let's go for humans. Humans means which animal? We, right? We are humans and we are also animals. So now first of all, I will explain you the digestive system of the, means I will just give you the naming of the digestive system of humans, which will be easier for you to understand the whole process. Okay, now listen carefully. Here, this is a structure of human, right? Here it is a nose. This is a nose. You can see this. Here it is a nose. The page number is 11. Open your textbook. Okay, if it is not clearly visible in the video, please look into your textbook. Okay, this is the nose. In nose, from nose you can see a track going inside, and below the nose there is a mouth. Below the nose there is a mouth, right? We all have our mouth below our nose, so there is a mouth, and from mouth also one track is going, right? One track is going, and both the track of nose and mouth joined at a place, and after that the single track goes inside. Now here you can see the mouth, and there is a yellow like balloon like structures and both the side of the tract. They are called as salivary glands. They are called as salivary glands. Saliva means the liquid or the juice which comes into our mouth after some time, means it is present in our mouth, right? Normally we have saliva every time in our mouth, so that saliva comes from this gland. This salivary glands always produce the saliva. Now what is the function of saliva? Saliva is present in our mouth to keep our mouth wet. First thing, it keeps our mouth wet. It helps us to chew the food or swallow the food, right? While eating, why we drink water? To swallow the food easily. Similarly, saliva help us to swallow the food. Next is salivary glands also. The saliva means keeps the mouth wet. It helps in swallowing the food. Okay, so that saliva is produced in salivary glands. After salivary glands, you can see there is an esophagus. There is an esophagus. Esophagus is somewhere present in our neck. Okay, I will explain you the function of esophagus later. You just see now the naming. Okay, after esophagus, the esophagus goes into a red bean like structure, right? A red bean like structure. That bean like structure is stomach. It is called as stomach. Above the stomach, liver is present. Above the stomach, liver is present. Okay, now this stomach, one end of the stomach is from esophagus and another end goes to the small intestine. It goes to the small intestine. This red tube like structure is called as small intestine, and from stomach the tube goes to small intestine. After small intestine, it goes to large intestine. Large intestine means the green one. Okay, this small intestine joins to the large intestine, and the large intestine goes to the anus. Right, the last part is anus. Okay, so these are basic what we can say basic organs for the digestive system. So now we will study how they works or what is their function. Have you understood? So important is mouth, after that esophagus, stomach, small intestine, large intestine. So these are the important parts of the digestive system. Others are also important, but we are going to study about this today. Okay, so let's begin with the nutrition in humans. Now what happens? Nutrition in humans also follow the 5 steps. Now we have seen the 5 steps of digestion, right? Or we can say 5 steps of what? 5 steps that have been mentioned earlier. 5 steps of nutrition. The first step is, here it was, the first step is ingestion. First step is ingestion, digestion, absorption, assimilation and egestion. First step is ingestion. Ingestion means ingestion means taking up the food inside the body, means taking up the food inside the body. So where it will happen? Obviously it will happen from mouth. From mouth only we intake the food. After what is that ingestion, there is digestion, right? After that there is digestion. The digestion happens in stomach. After digestion, the food goes to small intestine. In small intestine, absorption, and in large intestine, assimilation is done, and in lastly egestion is done. Okay, so large intestine, rectum and anus, these are the what you can say parts of digestive system. These organs form long tube-like alimentary canal through which the food we eat passes. Okay, so from these tubes the food passes. The salivary glands, pancreas and liver are accessory organs that secrete digestive juices into the alimentary canal. So salivary gland, pancreas and the salivary gland, pancreas and liver, what they do, they produce juices. Juices means not like fruit juices and all. The juices means the liquids which helps in digestion. So these are basically to produce the liquids which helps in digestion. Okay, so the salivary gland, pancreas and liver are accessory organs that secrete digestive juices. So they secrete the digestive juices which helps in digestion of the food. Okay, now as we are going on the next page, I'll just draw the diagram of the digestive system to explain. Okay, so first is this. This is the mouth. This is nose. From here the food gets, the food goes in stomach. After stomach it goes to this is large intestine. Okay, this is small intestine, this is large intestine. Okay, so these are the basic important organs. Now, yeah, ingestion and digestion in the mouth. Now first step is ingestion, right? First step is ingestion. So nutrition takes place in, here I will write ingestion. First is ingestion, next is digestion, next is digestion. So we will study about ingestion and digestion first. Now the mouth is the place where the food enters into the alimentary canal. So this is our mouth, this is our mouth. So from mouth we take the food inside. The main function of the mouth is to chew the food. Now why we take the food from the mouth? Because in mouth we have teeth present, we have teeth present. Okay, so the what does this teeth do? They help us to chew the food. Okay, so or to make it in fine particles, or we can say fine fine particles only. Okay, so using the teeth, what we do, we just make it fine powder or fine, what we can say, paste, to which helps in digestion. So mouth help us to chew the food. The main function of the mouth is to chew the food before it's sent to the esophagus. Now here it is esophagus, here it is esophagus. Okay, so first the food is chewed here, right? We have teeth present here. In mouth there are teeth. I will draw this to understand. Okay, so in mouth teeth are present. So using the teeth the food is chewed, then it is sent to the esophagus. Now what happens in the esophagus? The process of chewing the food is called mastication. Okay, now here the process which occurs or which happens, that is chewing of food, it is called as mastication. Okay, so process of chewing the food is called as mastication. Next, the salivary glands secrete saliva into the mouth. Now as we have seen, here are the salivary glands, here are the salivary glands. So what does the salivary glands do? They just secretes the saliva, secretes or produce the saliva, and they send it to the mouth. So using that saliva it becomes easy for us to chew the food. The saliva contains digestive juices. Okay, so saliva has digestive juices which helps in digestion and chewing of the food. Now mouth has other functions also, right? Like singing and speaking, right? We speak or we talk, we sing using our mouth. So mouth is not only used for chewing but also for talking and singing. Next, now what mouth consists of teeth. So we should know about teeth, right? We should know about teeth. Now how many teeth do we have? We totally in total we have 32. Is it visible? Yeah, we are having 32 teeth. We are having 32 teeth. 32 दांत हम लोग बोलते हैं ना, we say 32. 32 means 32, right? So we are having total 32 teeth. Now what is this function of teeth? To chew the food, right? Function of this is to chew the food. First what they do, they cut it into they just cut the piece. After that they make it in medium size and then it is made into a paste. So that is the function of the teeth. Now as we are omnivorous, right? We are omnivorous. Humans are omnivorous because they eat herbivorous and carnivorous both. So humans are omnivorous. Now what does so our teeth should have various shapes, right? Means as we are omnivorous, we eat both plants, we eat animals also. So our teeth shape is accordingly. Now what does the omnivorous do? they have all types of teeth in their mouth. All types of teeth means which are those types? Okay, so those types are incisors, canine, premolars and molar. We are having how many types of teeth? We are having 4 types, that are incisors, canine, premolars and molars. This is the structure of upper jaw and lower jaw. Upper jaw means the our mouth, when we opens our mouth, it opens in 2 parts, the upper one and lower one. So we are, this structure is for upper jaw and this structure is for lower jaw. The types of teeth are same, right? You can see here are also incisors, here are also incisors. After that, here are also canine, here are also canines. Next is, here are also premolars, molars and molars. Means types of teeth are same, but they are placed at upper and lower jaw. Next is, now what are the function of those 4 types, right? Incisors, canine, premolars and molars. Now just open your mouth and imagine, or just open your mouth and look at the teeth. Okay, so the front teeth. Okay, the front teeth, we will consider about lower jaw. Okay, we will consider about lower jaw. Now you are having lower jaw. Okay, now just place the finger in the lower jaw. You will see that the front teeth, you are having total in front teeth you will have that pointed teeth at 2 sides, right? If this is your, okay, I'll draw it here. If this is your lower jaw, you will have small teeth, right? You will have small teeth, and these are pointed one, means they are not this much pointed, but to understand I have drawn them like this. So leave those pointed teeth, okay, but the teeth in between those pointed teeth, okay, the teeth in between those pointed teeth are called as incisors. These are called as incisors. Here you can see that you are having 1 2 3 4, right? 4 incisors, right? We are having 4 incisors, means apart from those pointed teeth, leave those pointed teeth and consider the teeth in between. So we are having 4 incisors. After those 4 incisors, we are having 2 canines. We are talking about only lower jaw. Okay, so 2 canines mean this pointed one. So there are 2 canines. After 2 canines, there are premolars, right? There are premolars. Again you will have 2 premolars on one side and 2 premolars on the other side. So total we are having 4 premolars. Now you might not have developed the molars all, because our whole 32 teeth don't develop suddenly, right? With the age they develops. When a newborn baby don't have teeth, right? But slowly and gradually as we grow up, our number of teeth increases, and then the molars comes in after teenage, means in your 20s and all, you will get your molars. Okay, so which we call it as, in normal language they are called as akkal dad. Okay, they are called as akkal dad. So I don't know in other language what they say, but in Marathi mostly they call them as akkal dad. So they appear in your 20s, okay, or in your late teenage. So these molars appears later, but you will be having these premolars. So premolars are there. Now, so have you understood the structure? We are having 4 incisors. I'm talking about lower jaw. If you will consider upper jaw, you will have total 8 incisors. 4 from lower, 4 from upper. So 8. Next, canines are 2 in the lower jaw, but considering the upper one also, you will have 4 canine. 1 2 3 4. After that, premolars, 4 premolars at the lower and 4 premolars at the upper. So they again become 8, and you will have 3 4 that 12 molars in total. Okay, so this is the structure. Now if I'll write this as incisors, okay, incisors. In incisors you will have 1 2 3 4. Okay, so 4 plus 4 means lower 4 upper 4, you will have 8, right? Next come is the canine. Next come is canine. In canine you will have 2 at lower, 2 at upper, so you will have 4, right? After canine there are premolars, right? You will have premolars, and premolars are 4 in the lower and 4 in the upper. It will become 8, right? Premolars are 1 2 3 4 and 8. Next are molars. Now how many molars are there? Molars are 3 one side, 3 on the other side. So 6 fours are, right, 3, 3 plus 3 6, 6 plus 3 9, 9 plus 3 12. So we are having total 12 molars, right? Means 6 of the upper jaw, 6 of the lower jaw. So they are 12. Now just calculate them. 8 plus 4 12, 12 plus 8 20, 20 plus 2 22, right? 2 plus 1 32. So total we are having 32 teeth. So how many incisors we have? 8, canine 4, premolars 8 and molars 12. So this is the structure of your teeth, structure of your mouth basically, and number of your teeth. Okay, so what does these incisors do? As they are placed forward, right, your front teeth help us to cut the thing, right? When we take an apple, we just cut it into a big piece using the incisor. Now canines are pointed and used for piercing and tearing food into smaller pieces. Sometimes it's difficult to cut the thing, okay, using the front teeth. So what we do, we take help of those pointed teeth. We sometimes we break the things using that corner one. Especially means when you just peel the sugar cane, you use this canines, right? You peel the sugar cane using your canines mostly. Next, after canines it come premolars. Premolars have a flattened surface and used for grinding food into smaller pieces. Okay, and molars are similar to premolars but are larger. They are used for cutting. Means normally both of their function is same, but these are more stronger than this. So what they helps to do, they just helps to grind the food. Now look at a model of a human tooth. Now human tooth consists of 3 layers. It consists of 3 layers. Means if this is your tooth, okay, if this is the tooth, right, if this is the tooth, it consists of 3 layers. How many layers? 3. Means if this is the first, this is the second, and this is the third. There are 3 layers. We can see only first layer. Now the first layer is consist of or made up of a material called as enamel. The first layer called as enamel, and enamel is the strongest coating of our body or hardest substance in the body. Okay, next is dentine. And the last is pulp. Inside one is called as pulp. Means after this 3 layers, your tooth is somewhat like this. So the inside one is called as pulp. Enamel, dentine and pulp. We are having 3 layers, where this is the hardest one. That upper one is hardest one. Okay, now so when we are small, right, when we are child, we don't have teeth. A newborn baby don't have teeth. Later on the teeth starts developing. Now the teeth which comes in the childhood, they are called as milk teeth, right? They are called as milk teeth. After, means at the age of 5, what happens? The teeth starts falling down. So they falls off, and we get the another set of teeth that is called as permanent teeth, and which are total 32 teeth, which are total in 32 teeth, right? After, in which 16 are of the above jaw and 16 are from the lower jaw. So 16 in each jaw. Next is teeth help us. Now what happens? Okay, this part we will see in the next lecture. Okay, now okay, let's complete this. Let's complete this. Okay, now what happens? These are number of consist of 32 teeth, 16 in upper jaw and 16 in lower jaw. Now you might have noticed the mummies don't allow smaller kids to eat chocolates more, right? Why they don't allow? Because chocolate contains sugar, or any, they even don't allow any more sweets to eat. They don't allow more sweets to the child, right? Because sweets contains sugar. And when sugar is remains stuck up in your teeth, for example, this is your teeth, and if sugar remains stuck up here, what happens? Due to the sugar, bacteria develops there, and the developed bacteria, what they do, they convert this sugar into a sticky substance, right? Into a sticky substance called as plaque. They call it as plaque. That sticky substance is called it as plaque, and due to which the bacteria Yeah, and the plaque and the acid in the mouth results in tooth decay, and due to which the layer of the tooth, we are having three layers, right? So the layer of the tooth becomes starts decaying or damaging, and due to which the decay comes till the nerves. Here we are having blood vessels, so the decay reaches the blood vessels, and due to which the pain occurs, and the tooth starts becoming weak. Okay, so the tooth becomes weak. Hence, normally we don't allow children to eat sugar more, okay, or else we ask them to brush twice. Okay, so this happens with the this thing happens in tooth decay. Okay, that's all for today. Thank you.